Will make playoffs.
Okay, I'll pick XL won't make playoffs. The loser has to do a dance and sing the XL song. Dracos, what's the XL song, you might ask?
It has taken 1,142 days, and I'm a 7-time.
I even bought a jersey. I'm so excited.
They're not gonna. That makes sense. Why do you do this?
I bought that for you.
You have to let it go.
Treatz, come back.
I'm so sorry that I doubted. It's too late to do much about it, but now I know it's true. There's no playoffs without you. 3 years now, you let me down. Never thought I'd be the one to look like a clown. You always told me that it wasn't a curse. Said you'd do better, but you kept looking worse. 6-star general, but you weren't going far. Got 7th place, not a 7-star. But now Marcoon, he's been unleashed. Nuke, Duck, and Finn, yeah, make 'em look free. Patrick's just a starfish, but he plays like a beast. I'm so sorry that I doubted. It's too late to do much about it, but now I know it's true. There's no playoffs without you. XL, can you please forgive me? I was blind, but now I can see. The power of better couldn't break your hex. Intel better, man, Mickey X. I'm so sorry that I doubted. It's too late to do much about it, but now I know it's true. There's no playoffs without you.
To the LEC studio for week 5 of summer. I'm so happy to see you all in the studio because we have reached the halfway point of the season so far, meaning the road to playoffs is literally on fire. The race is closer than it has ever been before, with new challengers rising just last week. One of them is SK Gaming, and they are looking for their 3rd straight win against Team BDS. My name is Shax, and I am joined by Goldberg and Yamada. And correct me if I'm wrong, Yamada, but you have never been in this studio in person for the LEC.
Yes, I've hit every other criteria. I've been in the studio for EUM. I was on the wall for LEC last year, but now I'm finally here in person, and I'm with my little brother Goldberg.
All right, listen up. One thing, super happy to have you.
Hey, bro.
Second off, older than him. He's the little brother.
Yeah, Goldberg is triggered already. We've just begun, guys. Fantastic. So let's take a look at the standings, because today is the start of the 2nd round robin. And based on what we are seeing, we have some exciting weeks ahead of us. Yamada, I'm really happy for you to join us. Can you make sense of this madness that is happening right now?
I wish I could. Everything was on fire last week, and it's left us with these standings. And I think the only thing that makes sense still is that Roger at the very top of the standings.
Yes.
That's about the only normal thing still going on. Other than that, everything's really weird.
Yes, let's talk about the Misfits then. They went 2-0. They've had a really rough start to their season, but they beat Fnatic in G2. Are they on the way up?
I hope for their sake they are. I mean, it's really nice to see them pick up these wins in such a great fashion. They've been picking up wins against the top of the table teams that we were expecting to, you know, at the very least still be in playoffs. They're not out of the race yet, but Misfits on fire right now.
And personally speaking, I really like seeing this from Misfits, considering the start they have. Also the fact that this is a development project. Generally speaking, they almost have 3 rookies. They retained their rookies from last play as well. I think it's really impressive what they managed to do here. I thought they were going to fall short against Fnatic. They continue with their streak. Really impressive stuff from Misfits.
And I'm sorry to be like a Debbie Downer in this one, but the way they have been winning, it's very impressive. But it's been the same way they won at the tail end of spring, right? With those comebacks, those unbelievable, actually, games. And they crashed and burned in the playoffs. So would you like to maybe see them win in a different way?
100%, because it is the same reminiscent stuff we see from spring as well. Against Mad, Fnatic, and G2, they had this time around, it was a comeback. Even against G2, it was with a soul as well. So I think from Misfits, we want to see them shape up as well in the early game and not only be able to rely on having a comeback victory.
Yeah, but Jamada, as you said already, Rogue, they are now on a 7-game win streak. When it comes to being consistent, they know exactly how to do that right again.
Yeah, it's formulaic, and it's very much what they do almost every single regular split. It's by the book League of Legends. It's, hey, bot lane priority into the first dragon, into rotate into the first herald, into the second dragon. It just feels like it's something that's proven to work, and right now it seems like no team at the moment besides maybe Mad could really take them down in a regular split game. We'll see what they can actually get done moving forward though.
But I also feel like it's also off the Rift, right? It's the preparation, it's going into draft as well. They're a very coached team and we've come to expect this for them. So in a league that's been so chaotic the past week, it's nice to know we have Rogue as a stable, making sure that nature is healing, and we still know one thing to be true about the LEC.
But we can't remember that they had a really rough start, right? And I think what you say there about being a very coached team who really knows what they're doing, it's coming out and it's showing. It's not as much showing for G2, Fnatic, and Excel. All went 0-2 last week. GB, what's going on there?
Well, first of all, in week 2, G2, XL tied for first place. You lean on to week 3, XL and Fnatic tied for first place. This is the madness where they just did not manage to pick up any wins. We started seeing some inconsistencies. Some of the others are 0-2, but for G2 specifically, they are 0-4 at the moment, which is crazy in the regular season.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with the last couple of weeks, Caps has been kept under wraps by other teams, and I think, I'm not going to say G2 rely on him, but when G2 look good, Caps looks good, and I think the fact that Caps hasn't been able to really, you know, show what we know him to be capable of has really kind of just hampered G2 a little bit too much. I feel like mid-jungle as well has not been as in sync as we typically see them.
Not as crisp, so maybe that crash that we thought was going to come right after MSI, maybe it was a little bit delayed, right? Now they have some work to do.
Yeah, but I feel like we've seen this from all the three teams so far as well. They're not usually the one finishing up towards the top end of the standing, so struggling in the middle of the split is perfectly fine as long as you can ramp up towards playoffs. Had playoffs been in next week, I would have been super worried, and the alarm button would have to be hit.
But now it isn't. But we do have some news, though. For Worlds 2022, the LEC will, in fact, get 4 spots, which means that the top 4 teams from the playoffs will represent EU at Worlds, and the first seed going into the summer playoffs will lock a spot at the World Championship. 3 and 4 will go through the play-ins. All of a sudden, Yamada, this has become even more spicy in terms of some teams you maybe would have never expected to make Worlds. Can I say even an Astralis might make it?
Yeah, it's an absolutely bonkers world, right? And I think especially first seed, typically we always see from regular season go to the group stage, but the fact that now we get the chance to open up maybe a team that we don't often get to see at Worlds, right? Maybe even XL slip in. If they, you know, get their form back up after last week, it's super exciting times. And I think we're still going to see our usual culprits. It's just the anticipation of maybe seeing someone that we don't see.
But that's like, will we see our usual culprits?
Oh,
I mean,
that's what's so chaotic, right? And even I was thinking, I love that you highlighted we might even see Astralis. Yeah, we might, which is crazy. Then, of course, play-ins is a whole other story. I think it's great to see our middle-of-the-pack teams get tested against some of the other minor regions, but it's going to be super close for the players now.
Whoever you are, seed 3 and 4, don't let us down, okay? Don't embarrass us again. But in any case, with 4 weeks worth of data, we did ask GB and Jamada to pick out their mid-season all-pro team. So basically, the best players in each position, reminiscent of the end of the season, what you can vote for as well. So let's take a look, GB. Do you have any controversial players in your all-pro?
I am going to go a little bit against the stream here, against the waters. I've actually gone full Fari, and I can already see everyone getting to the chatters as well, but the fact is that this guy is one of the best, probably the best laning top laner we have in the league, and even going up against Odoamne last week as well, or 2 weeks before that. he was up in CS. He was the one dictating the pace of the game. He was the one being aggressive. And I think what I personally love to see in a top lane as well is that you can use them for aggression when I was building my team as well. Then moving into the jungle position, I think Elyoya is still at the top of our junglers in the league. I think him being facilitated by Niski as well as a jungler has only elevated him as well. We see it all the time, how they link together, move up towards the top side. I think he's incredibly intelligent, and I love the way that he's been playing for Mad Lions, even secured them the second place position at
Your
the moment.
arguments make a lot of sense, but I wonder if Jamada actually agrees on everything or not.
No, not for the
no.
top side.
No.
Different look for me. I think that Odo has been slightly more rounded in comparison to Alfari. I think Alfari has brought a lot to vitality naturally. The laning phase, he's the strongest laner in EU. I don't think there's much contest about that. But I think for me, Odo Amne is a slightly more holistic top laner. Very capable in the lane, very capable out of the lane, very flexible as well, can bring so much to the rogue lineup. And I think that's just kind of the key difference to me between Alfari and Odo. I think he can consistently do anything that his team needs, whereas Alfari, I'm not saying he doesn't have that flexibility, but still, normally you'd like to see Vitelli lean on him in the laning phase more.
And I was so on the fence as this as well, because I fully agree with Jamada with his points as well. Odo does bring something different, right? He's the one that will sit back and you can allow yourself to play for a team fighting style as well. I think when I'm looking for someone in the position as well, I'm looking for who takes charge as well in the laning phase, and that kind of ended up with me having Alfari in the position.
Oh, I see. So both good arguments and fantastic top laners in their own right. In the jungle, you also did not agree. We have an Elyoya and a Marcoon. Jamada?
Yeah, I think Marcoon has been our premier jungler so far this split. I think that Elyoya has been having a pretty okay split in his own right, but he's being propped up a lot by Niski. I think when you have Niski in the mid lane, it's very easy to play the jungle role. I think when you look towards Marcoon, I think he's garnered a lot of his own leads, and I feel like he has also been able to push that into the lanes in comparison to Niski, where I feel like it's more of a team effort on Mad Lions, where it's Niski, Elyoya into top side or bot.
I mean, he has Nuke Duck, but okay.
Yeah, and I feel like that's all. I think the patch as well has benefited Marcoon as well as a lot. It has been his champion pool, and I'm curious to see how that's going to affect the standings or affect the performance moving forward. But it is mid-season, and Marcoon is a really good shout.
I think you're going to also tell us about the jungle changes later, so maybe this will influence these two players. But you did agree on the bot lane comp and Trimby. It's something that we've heard even from pro players who were asked about that position before, that they are undisputably the best. So GB, why are they the best in your eyes?
For me personally, I think they just bring so much flexibility as a bot lane. They can pretty much play anything that's into meta. You want the Senna Seraphine? Okay, we got it. You want to play the standard Seri? That's meta. Okay, we can go for it as well. You want to play the standard front to back where you're aggressive in lane as well with the Kalista? They got it. Anything or any way the team has needed them in this position from a bot lane point of view, they've been able to deliver on it. And I think they've been outperforming everyone in lane as well.
Yep, aggressive lanes too, Nami Lucian. I think the biggest thing for Rogue in their bottom lane is just the consistency as well. It's very rare that they tend to trip up, and I think the fact that, again, they're so formulaic, they're very capable of playing around the bottom side pressure that competition bring, it's just very hard to see these guys as not the best bottom laner.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And let's see what Discord said. They had Odo Amne, Marcoon, Caps, Upset, and Hilly. Okay, yeah, they agree on some parts, and then they go full G2 or Fnatic for the rest of that.
I wonder if that's based on a fan base. Surely not.
We'll see. Well, on top of learning about the All-Pro, we're also going to get our geography knowledge tested and try to pair 6 flags, so 5 players and 1 coach, with the right team. And we know that our LEC Pro players did the same, so let's take a look at how they did in Pop Quiz.
I'm gonna show you some teams with flags.
I need to guess the team.
You need to tell me which team it is.
But is it NA?
It can be any team.
Anywhere. Is this like all time again?
Oh, so it's only current teams?
Mostly this year?
If you need help, I can tell you a flag, but you lose a point.
How much guesses do you have?
You have 3 guesses.
Oh my god, it's gonna be easy.
I didn't prepare for that. What?
I know Niski could be playing in that team, I think.
It's like current teams, right?
This is current team, and it's not Niski.
NA top.
So it's probably NA team?
It's not EG because it doesn't have Inspired.
This one fits EG, you know, but the jungle doesn't fit, you know, and other roles as well.
I don't think we have a Korean jungler in EU, right?
Chinese jungler, you know what I mean?
Chinese jungler?
German mid with Korean jungle and American top.
I think Power of Evil is German, but I don't know where he plays. This has to be Abedage or Power of Evil's team then.
Abedage has Turkish jungler, I think.
Is it Germany or Belgium with the flag?
Oh, this is not German. Oh yeah, German one is the other way around.
That's the given. It's not the German flag probably.
Oh.
Belgium mid laner. Chinese AD carry.
Wait, Vietnamese AD?
Vietnam?
There's a player from Vietnam somewhere?
I would say SKT. I mean, sorry, not SKT, TSM, I would say TSM.
Not TSM, but let's say TSM because I'm a TSM fanboy.
100 Thieves.
FlyQuest, maybe?
C9? I don't even know the 10 NA teams.
What other American team I'm forgetting?
Maybe Golden Guardians?
Golden Guardians?
Then this team doesn't exist, I think.
That's a real team. I think I know the mid laner. It's blue.
Maybe.
It's not maybe. You know it's yes. Canadian support? Wait, there's 2 Canadian supports.
Canadian support is Bifrost, I assume. They're Korean jungler.
Is River Korean?
So this is Dignitas.
It's Dignitas.
Greek coach?
Oh, coach, okay. This is Dignitas.
Dignitas?
Dignitas.
So I should get like some points.
Next one.
This from the split? It's a current roster.
It has to be EU.
Okay, so UK coach, Greek support.
It's Labrov, yeah? That is Greek.
Oh!
But who they have on ID? They have...
The AV flag is not Serbia, right? Slovenia. It is Slovenia, no? Slovakia. Fuck.
Is this Mad Lions?
Slovakia and AD carry.
Where the f is Mickey from? Is this XL? French mid.
German top laner.
It's a rogue. Polish jungle.
Can it be Jankos? No. It cannot be self-made. Man, did I miss the jungler? It has to be LEC.
This one is me.
Wait, it's Schlaton, yeah, it's Misfits. Oh, why did I forget about Schlaton, yeah.
Okay, this is Misfits.
Misfits.
Yeah, it's Misfits.
There's no hit it anymore, just...
Is Aggressivo Misfits? Oh, it's irrelevant. Yes. Okay.
This is actually really difficult, especially the LCS teams, because they import so much and it's just so hard to kind of make sense of the flags, I think, no?
I just don't know the bottom teams.
We were all laughing watching this, but now it's getting serious because GB and Jamada have to do the same thing. So let's see. I believe it is EU or ERL, though. So maybe that makes it a little bit easier. Let's take a look at our first flags and the lineup. I'm excited. I think this is really difficult, by the way. All right.
Oh, God. Okay.
Oh.
Swedish top laner, Norwegian mid laner. We can have Ericsson here coming in for
Do you see
it.
it says LEC team this season, by the way?
Okay. Well, then that's so easy, by the way. That is so you have Nuke Dog in the mid lane, you have Finn in the top lane, Raccoon in the jungle. I mean, this one's a given. I mean, it's the power of better coming through. It's going to be XL.
Wow, you don't even let your partner talk.
It's
just about to agree.
Sorry, you can have a guess as well.
But I don't think we need help, but we do have Machine joining us in front of the audience. So Machine, do they think we're right, or?
Well, we just got a shake of the head and a raise of the eyebrows over here. You feeling like they might be right? No, everyone's just shaking their head. Illegal Legends and social contact is not a common combination. Yeah. Anyone?
They're trying to keep their distance. They're wearing masks.
I'm not wearing a mask as well. I'm probably breaking protocol right now. So no one wants to play. We got a wave of the baton. Can you walk? Can we move?
Can you put your hands up if you think it's XL?
Listen to Mummy. Okay, well, you know what? That's the end of our segment. Yes, is the answer.
Thanks, Dad. Okay, let's take a look at our next flag. This one was relatively easy, so maybe we can spice it up with the next one, production. It was XL, of course. Or are we going to get a reveal? There's a reveal coming. Just to make sure.
Oh.
What? Wait, what? I think that's what? They were correct, and the next one may or may not be. Okay, let's get our next flags up. If this is now Astralis, it's going to be so funny. Let's go for our next flags. I hope the crowd wants to work a little bit more. I think the Viz machine crashed. Isn't it cool that we have all these different nationalities? Okay, here we go. Historic LEC.
Oh, okay, wait.
I know this already.
Wait, support. French support. Wait.
No, but look at the.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Okay. Do you want to have your?
Yeah, Javada.
Go on.
No, I'm very lost at.
Oh, come on. Okay, so
I feel like it's super easy.
Undefeated run. Dutch mid laner.
Hold on.
The Fnatic 26.
25?
15.
15? Yes?
15 or 16.
That's when they got to the semifinal, right?
I'm a zoomer when it comes to
let's see. Machine, do you have anything for us? Do they know? Let's see.
Wow, that was cool. That was a good segment right there. No, raise your hand if you agree with them. Yeah, wow, okay. This is interactive. This is hype, that's for sure.
Can you interview someone?
Oh no!
Oh God. Let's get the reveal, although I think we're pretty confident about this one. It was when EU was still doing really well, also internationally, so it's very close to my heart.
Wait, actually, we started doing better internationally after this roster.
Hey,
Yes.
Fnatic Summer 2015. This was a great roster. Yellow Star, we miss you around here. So, the final one, let's take a look. I want to get an ERL team in here.
Same.
Let's see what we got. I think the Viz machine, so the graphics machine, usually pretty slow.
Yeah.
Needs
Well,
to,
I
like-
like the music.
yeah.
Good choice of music. Kind of Western style. Now.
ERL team from this season.
So I think with Swede and a Dane and a UK, so
No,
by
one second. I'm going to let Jamada do this because GB saw this in
Import
rehearsal and I know he Googled it.
You know what? I know what team
And he
this
Googled
is.
it.
I
What
know
is
what
it,
team this
Jamada?
is because of the jungler. The
Oh,
jungler's
yeah?
flag is actually a dead giveaway. This is Dusty in the NLC.
Okay.
And I know this because I actually looked at his profile like 3 days ago. And
What
I
flag
think
is
he
this?
has the flag. I don't know.
Oh,
off
so
the
you
top of my
looked
head.
up the colors of the flag?
I haven't
but
looked up
not
the colors of the flag.
Okay, cool.
I just
It's
recognize this is
Romania, right?
Dusty. No, it's not quite.
What team is this?
Bulgaria.
This is Dusty in the NLC.
Okay, and what is this team? Oh, sorry.
Huh?
Oh, sorry, the NLC. I
The NL
forgot about that league. Actually, my producer told me if there was something from the NLC, if you could give a short commercial for the NLC.
Oh, well, the NLC is a league that deserves 3 seeds at the EU Masters. I think I'm doing us great justice here.
Yeah.
Dusty are currently our top 2 team
Yeah.
in the league. They're doing pretty damn well because a bunch of the top end of the table teams just crashed and burned.
Okay,
so
perfect.
they could end up snagging
Well done.
first place.
So I think you're probably right. So to not make this even more awkward for Machine, I'm just going to talk to Machine. Machine, I'm really happy to have you here. What's it like being back at the LEC?
It's been lovely. Yeah, you know, a little bit hectic, a little bit uninformed, but we've had some fun,
Hey, we
haven't
just came from
We've
ESL,
had some
didn't we?
fun.
So
Yeah, look at that. Look at all the fun we're having. We're banging things.
yeah,
It's been great.
They just needed to warm up a little bit, but we're really happy to have you, and we're looking forward to your interviews.
Thanks for having me, Shogs. Have some fun over there.
We will. We are having fun. Last reveal. Was it Dusty? Yay! We don't have photos for it.
No,
That's
they
sad.
turned to dust.
Okay. Oh, that's how it is. Cool. Wow, this was a really fun segment. Maybe it went a little longer, but we'll see what happens. Let's take a
Yeah.
look at the schedule for the games for the opening day of the second round robin. Now, usually I would look at the schedule and think maybe, not all the games are that exciting, but because of the current context, GB, I'm getting a little scared for some of these top teams.
You know, unironically, my game I'm looking forward to today, yes, there's Fnatic versus Rogue, but I didn't have to pick that. Astralis versus G2, okay? 0-4 G2, how much worse can it get? Surely they're able to beat Astralis, right?
Right?
Yeah, I hope so for their sake. Otherwise, it could be looking rough for playoffs, man.
Yeah.
Really big shout there. I'm also looking forward to XL Misfits. I think that's also another matchup that should, in theory, be quite fun.
Yes, it should be indeed. Now, they have a lot to play with as we are moving on to patch 12.13 this week, and GB and Jamada are going to give us the lowdown on what to look out for.
Perfect. Yes. Okay, so we'll be heading over here to the Telestrator. We got some cool stuff coming up from you guys to discuss some of the picks we've already been seeing and what we'll be expecting after this patch. First thing, Poppy. We've only seen it 2 times so far in the LEC. It was we've seen it loads of times, but it was last week, and it was Gilius who was obviously piloting this champion. If you do not know, in the LPL, in the LCK, this is the #1 prio pick for junglers right now, and they don't care if they're blind picking it. Jamada, why is that with the Poppy right now?
Well, first off, the champion is really broken, but secondly, it also shuts down a lot of the meta picks. There's very few champions that work really well directly into it. The only thing that kind of came in as a one-to-one counter, Trundle. Other than that, nothing else really does super well. Everything is super mobile in the meta at the moment, and unfortunately, Poppy loves to shut that down, and she gets really active in the early game with it.
Yeah, and it's also just due to the fact that, you know, nerfs are coming through on some of the other junglers on this patch. We had 2 nerfs on this patch. One of the recipients was Volibear, so if you're tired of seeing that Volibear, or if you're paying attention to the jungle segment, Akun may be having a little rough time with that. And here you can see the stats as well on 12.12 coming through. 74% pick ban, win ratio of close to 64%, even moving on towards the next patch as well. Very scary looking jungler at this point, but that also takes it to the next segment. 12.13, we did see buffs to a lot of champions as well. And a lot of these champions we saw buffs to were infamous AP junglers. And we haven't seen AP junglers in a while, Jamada. Could you run me through some of the buffs we've been seeing here on the patch?
Yeah, so for Fiddle, his Q fear duration got increased and also his ultimate damage got kind of jacked up quite a bit. I think it's 25% extra on the ratio. That's kind of an insane buff. For Talia, she got a wide scope of changes. Q does a little bit more damage. The boulder now actually stuns monsters as well, so a lot to work with there. But Evelyn, kind of mild changes for the most part. W shreds a little more, magic resist. But the reason why a lot of these champions are so good, or we're expecting them to be so good, is more or less because they kind of farm up to hit 6, try and have a little more impact in the map later on in towards the game. Whereas for Poppy, it's more about the early stages. So when you see these junglers come into effect, what you'll see with them is laners that are a little more dominant.
And that kind of brings us into the stylistic, because for the Poppy specifically, it is about having successful early in games. Before you hit that level 6, you usually want one sweet spot where you got one gank to work. It's kind of like the old Jarvan as well, when he got picked all the time. You need to make it work in the early game.
Yeah, no, exactly. And the thing is, if you don't get it working in the early game, all of a sudden you find yourself falling behind to these AP junglers who just full clear after full clear. So finding successful ganks in the early stages, super important for Poppy. Otherwise, she kind of just falls back on her base gear, which, to be fair, isn't terrible, but you don't really want to be in a situation where you're just playing Poppy in a game all of the time.
And Poppy also just fits the, what we have in meta right now, which is junglers playing for lanes. But moving over to the AP junglers, that's a different side of stories. You all of a sudden have the lanes playing for your jungler because you want them to be able to have that full clear from the AP junglers, essentially from the beginning. And a lot of them, like Fiddlesticks, for example, got these finicky ways where they can multiple clear camps at the multiple times. So what is it specifically Fiddlesticks and his jungle clear?
Yeah, so Fiddle can basically do 2 camps at the same time at every single camp on the map, so it really can buff up his clear speed. And this is the thing with Fiddle, sometimes it even opens up for early ganks, which you wouldn't expect from some of these AP junglers, but it slingshots him to level 6 a lot earlier than a lot of these junglers in the current meta at the moment. And as you can see on screen, it leads to moments where you can very quickly see these ganks start to snowball.
And even today in the LCK, we did see Peanut bring out Morgana in the jungle, which is something we have seen before, but haven't seen for a while now, into the Poppy specifically, for some of the same reasons that we have right here. Black Shield, of course, very nice to have into Poppy. That steadfast presence become a little easier to deal with. But either way, that is potentially something we do expect seeing from the Poppy. But are we expecting the AP junglers to come out today?
Likely not. I think the fact that we've had such a short time between 12-13 coming into effect and teams playing on it in this patch, I think we'll need to see teams have a little more time to work with these champions. But Poppy, I'm expecting to see a lot of the AP champions. I think will slowly come into effect as we move into the patch later on.
Yeah, I mean, we did see Gilius blind pick Poppy 2 times last week, and that made on to, be that 2-0 for them. And last week, of course, SK went 2-0 with Poppy, so let's see what their support Treatz had to say when Machine caught up with them earlier.
Thank you very much, Effia. Yeah, I'm hanging out here at the LEC studio, and I've got my big boy Treatz on the big screen, the supportive backbone of SK Gaming. And he's a bit of a fan favorite. I wanted to talk a little bit about you guys and how you're heading into week 5. I think we can all agree that you had a great previous week, a 2-0, XL, G2, big scalps. So I'm sure a lot to be proud of. BDS and Misfits this week. And so I guess we start there. Do you think you can maintain this momentum? I'll just hit you with the flat-out question. Do you think this is momentum you can maintain?
I mean, I think momentum in esports is very important, right? And feeling the victory and feeling how it feels is a very strong booster for the team, I would say. So I think once you keep winning, it's kind of easier to keep winning, if that makes sense. And when you're on a loss streak, it's hard to see how to win. So I definitely think the wins help us get on track and definitely helps for these upcoming games as well.
Yeah, it's really tough. It's like this unquantifiable, intangible feeling, and it feels very floaty and easy to dismiss. But could you help me put words to it? Can you help me understand a little bit as to where that shift is going to be coming from? Are we talking individuals? Are we talking about changing their diets? Are we doing a couple of stretches? What led to the mojo flowing so well last week?
I think for us, it was kind of trying to redefine our style and how we want to play the game. I think oftentimes when you're losing, it's easy to see, oh, look at this winning team from LPL or LCK. What are they doing to win, right? But I think we had some retrospection on how we want to play our game and how we want to win. And I think that really helped in the previous week. And it's obviously something we're trying to keep for the upcoming weeks as well. So I think this retrospection of understanding how you want to play the game and how you want to win and playing into your individual strength is something that's very important.
Would you consider it like a delicate balance you have to strike between team identity, you're playing your own game, and then, sticking to the meta? There is a most effective tactic. There is probably some things you have to just accept.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's always going to be picks that are very broken, right? And if you don't pick them, you're kind of in a disadvantage. But I think everyone on our team plays every champ, so it's kind of easy to fit that in and just kind of mold the draft in the way that we want and not really just go for this like full meta comp where we have 5 picks that are super meta, but maybe we have 2 or 3 that are really OP, and then we kind of go from there.
Oh, well, talking of going from there and mixing it up, any more poppy jungle? Any more fruity EU picks, imports perhaps coming up this week?
I mean, we like to go for these really aggressive picks right now. So we saw the Draven last week as well, right? So I think any champion that's in this style, we're ready to pick. And I think we're going to have some fun games going up. That's kind of our mindset right now. Just kind of play champions that we like, kind of play champions that are fun, and then go from there.
Unfortunately, it is a cruel reality of esports, is that having fun is still a component, even if it is competitive video games. You agree?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Of course, yeah. I mean, having fun is, I think, just brings a different dynamic to the team, I think. I think if you're losing and you're also just depressed, it doesn't really work. I think you need to kind of pick yourself up and kind of work from the position you're in, right? So I think now we're 3-6 and we're in a better position, so we're all happier as well.
Perfect. Last question before I let you go. I know you've got a big game, or a couple of big games this week. Now, I saw you take to Twitter. You were looking for, you know, a kind of caps, craps alternative for when Treatz is hot and when he's not. It's not an easy one. When I saw your tweet, I had a think, came up with nothing. Did you get any good suggestions? Do we have a Treatz and a...
Oof. I mean, there was a lot of good suggestions. I wouldn't say that I came to a conclusion. I think it's kind of something that has to come naturally maybe from the fans. So I think what will have to happen is just run it down one game and then everyone decides on a name. I think that's the easiest way to do it. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
All right. We're looking forward to it in that BDS game. Treatz just running and gunning down mid. Yo, thank you for your time, man. That's all we have time for, but let's get on with the show. And thank you very much to Treatz.
Thank you.
How about lead or cheat?
Treatz or Greaves?
What? Treatz Greaves? I think it has to be a play on like caps crap. So if he's doing well, he's lead. Then if he's not, he's a cheat.
You're better than this.
That works maybe.
Trick or treats?
Trick or treats? Oh, I like that. Love it. And it is very fruity, as Machine also requested before. So let's talk about SK just a little bit. And it was so hard for us to talk about SK in those first weeks of summer because nothing was working, Jamada. Now, though, after being down 1-6, a great win versus G2, versus XL. The work is not done, though. But what did you think about what he said in terms of the fun and prioritizing OP champions, but also making sure that maybe it's not exactly the meta, but it is something that works for them?
Yeah, I think along those lines as well, what I really liked from the last week's drafts in particular was they seem to be drafting a lot for lane matchups for the most part, which actually made it a lot easier, I feel like, for them to play through the lanes directly. And I also think it helps when Certus has a very popular
Oh, absolutely.
I think there's lots of good to go into with all of these, but I think in the big picture, as Treatz as well just mentioned, they're just willing to send it. From a 2v2 point of view, Jester and Treatz are not afraid to get aggressive. From the jungle point of view, and my main issue with Gilius was that he was never active enough. With Hex Flash on Poppy, he's not afraid to send it. It's literally just, I see a window to just Hex Flash over the wall, I'm going to go for it. And it's this proactivity that all of a sudden really allows them to take charge.
Yeah, and it is so much about momentum when then you get a win. And we got to say, Jizu had his best week he's had maybe all year last week. Certus had an amazing week helping SK get that 2-0. But now it is time to get into SK versus VDS with Dracos and Kadril.